number. Okay. Well, because you must be the only one who are enjoying the Bangalore chill in the early morning, right? Because by the time I wake up, it is already sunny outside. So there's no point. Like, I'm missing the chill weather here. There's one thing I wanted to share with you. When I was studying art, I read a book, Metaphors on Vision, by a filmmaker, Lokesh. And he said something really beautiful. He said that how a child's eye how many shades of green a child's eye can see in a field of grass. Now, forget about the shades of green. We don't even look at grass, right? The only thing that takes our attention is our phones. If I don't check my phone for 15 minutes, I feel that there is something really that I'm missing in my life. And the only place where I feel that I can leave my phone aside for some time, and not just for some time, for 2 long wakeful hours, that is Toastmasters Club. And why? Because I love the meetings so much. They're so enjoyable. And for you all to enjoy the meetings, can I also request you to please put your phones on silent? Thank you. Another thing that we can do to enjoy our meetings is to avoid hurting anyone's sentiments by talking on sex, politics, or religion. So we can avoid speaking on these topics. And lastly, for someone who is on stage, for him or her to have a great time, let's avoid any movement in the room or leaving or entering the room as well. But if you really, really have to exit or enter the room, then please do so when you hear the sweet sound of an applause. Are we all set?
Yes.
Great. Now, tell me, what is other than the applause, which is a very sweet sound, what is the other sweetest sound to our ears?
The sheep voice.
That surely you will listen soon. But there's something else also that we all like, not just here at Toastmasters, but to the whole humanity, I would say. And that is the sound of our name. Yeah? We love the sound of our name. But if I ask you that suddenly someone comes and changes your name against your will or wish, would you like it?
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay. Or maybe not. Yeah? Now, the person I'm going to invite here on stage, this person was given a beautiful name by his loving parents when he was born. The name was given Sheeb. But when he received his 10th board exam certificate, to his surprise, his name was changed from Sheeb to Sheeb. And this 15-year-old boy, knowing the Herculean task that changing the name to the original it would be, he just accepted his new name. The person is, the way he accepted his new name is something that he accepts all new things in his life. He just takes them in his stride, right? Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, Sheeb Kumar.
Amrit Kaur. What's the name, right? You want to express that, right? Welcome to the Bangalore Toastmasters Club meeting number 1462. I call to order meeting number 1462. I will now request our secretary, Postmaster Mahesh, to come here and give a few highlights from the previous meeting.
Good evening.
Meeting number 1461 held on January 10th. The theme of the meeting was Conquer Doubts and Embrace Success. The word of the day was summer. The best speaker was won by Toastmaster Akash Arka. The best evaluator was won by Toastmaster Alan Arana. And the best evaluator was won by the best role taker was won by Toastmaster Srinivas Vungarala. The best table topic speaker was won by TTM Vijayanand. The best auxiliary role taker was Toastmaster Aman Ishani. For more details, please tune in to Bangalore Toastmasters YouTube channel.
Members, is there any amendments to the minutes of the meeting? The minutes of the meeting 1461 stand passed. I have a request from the guests who came here for the first time, please to rise up from their seats. For the first time, welcome to Bangalore Toastmasters Club. We hope that you enjoyed the meeting. And just after the meeting, we'll have a small session about Toastmasters, about the movement and how you can join Toastmasters. Our membership committee will guide you. Now you may please sit down. Members, how do we welcome the new guests? Now, I request the committee members to please stand up. Amrit. Thank you so much. You may sit down now. I would like to take you back to a time when I was a little boy and I lived in a village which could have been the background of a Hollywood love story. Believe me, it had everything in it. Clear sky, pristine air, gently flowing river, lush green paddy fields, and cows that seem to have taken a vow not to cooperate. Living in this village felt like living inside a nature documentary, except the narrator was not David Attenborough. It was my mom constantly yelling, "Stop playing now! Do something useful!" Her tone was so dramatic, it could have won her an Oscar for the best supporting mother. Me and my young brother Mohan, we were the stars of the village. We ran barefoot through the paddy fields, we chased butterflies, and we even gave a tight fight to our parents through our mischievous encounters. Then comes a day when I asked my mom, "Mom, can I milk the cow?" She said, "Any jerk can do it." And we were kids, and then came the month of August, the magical month of Onam. For kids, it was like a get out of jail free card after a horror movie. That was our quarterly examinations. And for while the elders were toiling to bring in the harvest, we children had our own important work. Turning the towering stacks of paddy stalks into our own personal Disneyland. Climbing up and sliding down. Climbing up and sliding down was our way of riding an roller coaster. And let me tell you, this roller coaster or this amusement park you will never see anywhere, because in this place you can actually land face first, and then you can get up as if you look like a porcupine. But our village was like a WhatsApp group of farmers. The only difference is they all worked hard. Instead of sending the morning messages that rose and that sun, and they all worked hard so much. And when I look back, even those slight, simple delicacies like avalaki and rice tasted so delicious. And I always wonder, why did they taste so well? Is it because of the love and laughter? Or is it because of that secret ingredient, a little bit of mud from the field? Later when I grew up, I realized that it was because each farmer so tenaciously determined to create a harvest or a crop. And what happened is, there was a natural collaboration between the fields. So the cross-pollination helped in creating an extraordinary variety of rice grains. Natural's magic works, right? And in our life also, I realized this applies to our life also. When I worked abroad, I was like a solitary paddy field, growing in isolation, and then I joined Toastmasters. That's when I was transplanted into a thriving ecosystem. I was surrounded with people who inspired me, challenged me, and sometimes, occasionally, they even confused me with their jargon, which I had to Google. But I believe the same thing happened when I joined here also. I was like again a paddy field, and surrounding me was exceptional paddy fields. Who were very good in harvesting skills or giving ideas or making camaraderie. I think one of our speeches, I heard Toastmaster Srinivas telling he stood on the shoulders of giants to reap the benefit of Toastmasters. I'm glad I didn't stand even, I was even relieved that I didn't trip over their toes. What I want to tell you is, my village life and those paddy fields taught me 3 priceless lessons. Number 1, simplicity is beautiful. And when you surround yourself with excellence, magic happens. Just like greatness is contagious, and an applause in Toastmasters is contagious, right? If one person gets up, everyone claps. And the third one is, obviously, Akash, teamwork really makes dream work. So to take the meeting forward, we have a person. Before that, a group of engineering professors were asked to fly a plane. So they were allowed to sit inside the flight. And suddenly the announcement came. This flight is, or this plane is made by just students. So immediately, all the professors ran to the exit maniacal man, except one person standing solid on his seat. He was asked, "Are you afraid of your life? Why are you so calm?" He said, "I have strong belief in my students. I taught them. I know. The plane is there. They are big. It can never fly." But the person who is going to come next is an Airbus expert in fastening systems. So fasten your seat belt for a smooth takeoff. And second thing is, he is a masters in technology, in material engineering from National Institute of Technology, Surat. And believe me, don't mess with this person, because he knows karate, judo, kung fu, aikido, and many more Japanese words. But believe me, jokes apart, he has a green belt. He has a green belt. Not in karate, but in Six Sigma. Yes. The man who has a sense of direction. When I first saw him, I thought he was a shy guy. But then I realized he has got a strong why. And that why is to become a leader in technology, right? You want to become a technological leader. So, the person who has got direction, that is Disha, please let me welcome the Toastmaster today, Toastmaster George Dsa.
Good evening, Toastmasters and all my dear guests.
Good evening.
It's my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all for today's meeting in this Bangalore Toastmasters Club. So recently we celebrated Makara Sankranti, we call Pongal in Tamil Nadu, and same with different states, but basically it means the harmony between the humanity and nature. It also marks the time of renewal. Time of harvesting, time of new beginning. In line with our theme today, there was a person called Jadavbhai in Assam who has turned a barren land into lush green forest. In 1979, as a young teenager, he has encountered something that has changed his life forever. In his village, it was a flood, and that has changed that land, barren, where very animals, snakes, in that dry soil, in broken soil, died without shelter and food. That has deeply moved his life. In spite of waiting for the help or starting to grumbling or complaining, he took the action for himself. He didn't have any other resource other than his strong determination and his strong hand and his strong belief. Every day, he crossed the river, walked for 2 hours, and started to plant saplings and bamboo every day for next 3 months per year, and he did for next 40 years. The land which has started with a small greenery patch has now grown into massive forest of around 1,400 acres near Brahmaputra River, more than the Central Park of New York. So what we can learn from this? The small action from a single person, when we simulate to billions of people in India or 8 billion in the world, can change a monumental change. So this sustainability is within us. What we can do with this? Planting a tree, reducing the waste, conserving the water, and make this awareness to each and every people whenever we speak. That itself translates very exponentially this knowledge and bring this sustainability. So similar to this person, there was one more visionary person called Rashi Medley. But he didn't get into the seeding the plant, but he get into the seeding the art of communication, confidence, and bringing the leadership into millions of people. For the benefit of guests, in 1924, this person has planted this as a small initiative. Today, similarly, it has grown into much larger, big forest in terms of around 1,400 clubs across 150 countries, with above 1.8 million people across world. So this is what the key message I wanted to bring across, the theme of this. I think at the benefit of the guest, coming to the central theme of our meeting, basically we have 3 different segments, 3 different parts, but today we have planted one more seed into our menu card, which is more into a transformation session from one of the transformation leader. There is an education session. So basically we start with the prepared speech, where the speaker will come with the prepared, selecting based on his project and level, on his pathways. Second is, we'll get into the education session. Third part is part of impromptu speech, where the speaker will get a chance to think and speak at his feet, which is very critical in professional and also after married life in front of our family as well. Very, very critical. I'm the witness for that. Third is, finally, the feedback. Very important to grow anyone as a leader, good communicator, to bring a network. The feedback session, which will be run by GE, General Evaluator and his team. So, in that, complete all the speeches and fully, holistically, complete start to end of the Toastmaster meeting will be evaluated. So, before we get into the prepared speech, I will introduce the GE at the later stage, but I would like to call his team, starting with Toastmaster Bhavana, who is a part of today on the timer to read out his role.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
They say that time waits for no one. But today, I will make sure that it comes to run away from us either. For the first speech, the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll show the green card, which means you're on track, carry on. And at 6 minutes, I'll be showing the yellow card, which means time to start wrapping up your masterpiece. And at 7 minutes, I'll be showing the red card, mic drop, time's up. For the second speech, the time limit is 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll be showing the green card. At 2.5 minutes, I'll be showing the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. For the education session, which has 2 parts, the speech time limit is 12 minutes. At 8 minutes, I'll be showing the green card. At 10 minutes, I'll be showing the yellow card. And at 12 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. And question sessions time limit is 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll be showing the yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I'll be yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. For evaluations, the time limit is 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes green card, 2.5 minute yellow card, and 3 minutes red card. All the best to everyone, and I'll present the report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavana. I request Brand D'Souza to read out as an counter to read out his code.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
As an counter, I will be listening very carefully for the use of vocal pauses and crutch words such as you know, and repetitive words or phrases. I will keep track of everyone and report at the end of the meeting on who best controlled their use of filler words. This evaluation starts at the beginning of the meeting and ends in adjournment. All the best to all speakers who go on stage.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priya. So, I now call upon our grammarian, Toastmaster Videsh, and also request him to introduce the word of the day.
Good evening, Toastmasters and their guests.
Good evening.
The evening is still young, and I expect more energy from this room. So, my role for today is grammarian, and I got this privilege, and I have a dual responsibility to handle. Firstly, I'll introduce the word of the day, that is bountiful. Bountiful is an adjective. It means large in quantity and abundance. Second responsibility, is to make note of all the good and not so good uses of the English language. And I'll be submitting my report at the end of the meeting on when called upon to do so. Some of the usages, examples of this word bountiful are, we had a great harvesting festival of Makara Sankranti this week, and I hope we get bountiful harvest so that no kid lives with an empty stomach, except for those children at our homes who just doesn't want to eat anything healthy. For them, we need to supply bountiful chocolates and French fries probably. Thank you.
So thank you, Toastmaster Lokesh. So we'll get into the part one of our segment. So it's a prepared speech. So before I introduce the speaker one, I would like to call upon the first evaluator, who is also aerospace enthusiastic and also aspiring to join the armed forces, and very active and he always brings a positive vibe. I request Toastmaster Vishal to read out the guideline of speech one.
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. The speaker, good evening. The speaker is attempting level 3, project 2 from the pathway presentation mastery. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety to enhance a speech. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. So, coming to the speaker one, she's very active. Coming to a professional, she is a software engineer who is more principally towards the web development. She loves reading and playing football. So, to keep it short, she is none other than our current PP education, Toastmasters Chaitra. I call upon Toastmasters Chaitra on the speech title 1, 2, and 3 and 3.
I stood at the edge of the pool, filled with apprehension. The air temperature was 18 degrees Celsius, and I could only imagine how much colder the water would feel. I began to question myself. Should I quit now? Would they refund my money if I quit before classes started? Was I setting myself up for failure, trying to learn to swim when it was so cold? Normal people don't sign up for swimming lessons in mid-November, Chaitra. Are you going crazy? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I somehow managed to convince myself that I was not going crazy. But I still have my doubts sometimes. My swimming instructor, Mr. Ishwar, had spent years teaching people how to swim. And he knew exactly what I was thinking. It's not as bad as it looks, he told me. Just get into the pool, submerge your entire body under the water, and count 1, 2, 3, and stand up. That was the first lesson I learned. Sometimes things look daunting at first, but it's only when you get in and take action that you realize that it's not as bad as you thought it would be. I loved the water as a child. My grandparents' house had a river in front of it, and I spent a large chunk of my vacations in front of the river, walking along the banks, fishing with my cousins, or just sitting there and watching the kingfishers in the morning. But there is one thing that I didn't do, and that was go swimming in the river. I used to watch the neighborhood children whooping with joy as they splashed around. And I was so jealous of them. Fast forward to 2017. I finally decided that it was time to learn to swim. I decided that it would be best to start learning when the pool was most likely to be empty. The 6 a.m. batch in mid-November. Bad idea. Or was it really? I learned that Nike had it right all along. Sometimes you have to look at what is in front of you, take a deep breath, and just do it. 1, 2, 3, breathe. 1, 2, 3, breathe. 1, 2, 3, breathe. Without realizing it, I was going through a transformation. At 5 a.m., when the rest of the world was snuggling under their blankets, here I was jumping out of bed eagerly. At 5:30 a.m., as I stepped out of my house, the cold wind would hit me with full force. But I learned to smile in the face of the wind. As I walked down the streets, they would be dark and empty. Empty Bangalore roads. Can you believe it? At the auto stand, the auto drivers would sit there huddled in their thick woolen caps and sweaters, and blankets too, to keep out the cold. But here I was, strolling down the road, wearing shorts and a t-shirt. I'm sure they all thought I was crazy. The cold wind was daunting, and the water was freezing, but I plowed on. And as I did, I began to appreciate the cold water and the clarity that it brings. Once your face is submerged in the water, the outside world gets blocked out. You can no longer see the people standing around. Sounds get dampened. There is just you, the water, and your goal at the end of the pool. 1, 2, 3, breathe. You move forward bit by bit. I learned to see every hurdle as a challenge. Oh, the water is 15 degrees Celsius today? Bring it on. Wow, my manager is really piling work on me. Bring it on. Anytime something doesn't go according to plan, no points for guessing. Bring it on. They say that the first step is the most difficult, and that is true. We hesitate to even get started because we are so scared. But it's only when we do that we begin to realize what we're truly capable of. Small steps can have an outsized impact in our lives. It only takes one small step to start moving forward, and it only takes one small win to make us believe in ourselves and to give us the confidence to pursue larger goals. So Toastmasters, what do you do when you're faced with something that looks daunting?
1, 2, 3, breathe.
1, 2, 3, breathe. You close your eyes, take a deep breath, and then you focus and start moving forward bit by bit.
So, thank you, Toastmaster Chaitra. Very inspiring story. And inspiring, I think, your set a tone of positive here. I think with this, we'll go to the second. Toastmaster. He is a corporate trainer. Very numerous speeches we hear, always give hookah ears and eyes on him whenever he speaks. And he also awarded with the largest prestigious award in the Toastmaster world, which is Distinguished Toastmaster. So I call on TDM Vijayanand to read the
project is the power of humor in an impromptu speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to develop their method for giving impromptu speeches and practice adapting reverse stories during the presentation. Timer, please note, the speaker is attempting 2 impromptu speeches, each being of length of 2 to 3 minutes. Back to the team.
Thank you. So, coming to the second speaker, he is a passionate engineer who works in Bosch. He loves to experiment with all sorts of technology. He loves, he's a motorcycle enthusiast, and he has taken various capacity roles within the Toastmaster in number of years. Let us all put a hand to welcome our Toastmaster Abhay Kothari. And the disclaimer here, as again DTM has mentioned, this is a impromptu speech where the 2 topics will be given and the timing is 2 to 3 minutes under the prepared speech segment. Yeah, I welcome Toastmaster Abhay Kothari.
The topic is, would you rather be respected or be loved? Would you rather be respected or be loved? Well, topic master, Toastmasters and guests. As the DMOD mentioned, this is an impromptu prepared speech. So I'm going to be trying my best in trying to see whether you be respected or be loved. So you are mostly, this boils down to something like, would you rather have money or would you rather have wisdom? And I think my favorite person in all this is, of course, Tenali Raman. And Tenali Raman actually received a boon from goddess Kali, where she held out 2 bowls. And she asked Tenali, choose one, money or wisdom. And the bowl with money had curds in it. So Tenali asked, why is curds associated with money? He said, the goddess answers, because wealth is hardly ever attained by any non-sour means. Right? So curd is always sour and wealth is always attained by any sour means. And the other bowl was the sweet milk of learning, because milk is always sweet and knowledge is always sweet. So then what Tenali Raman does is, he asks the goddess, can I taste both of them? So while tasting, before the goddess realizes, he gulps down both. And then that is where the goddess gets angry for a moment and gives him the title of Vikata Kavi. That is a palindrome even in Hindi actually. So that is how Tenali Raman gets the money as well as the fame as well as his. But coming to the topic of respect versus love, I think more important is being loved. And if you are loved, you will certainly be respected. So whether you go for wealth or love, I think love is important. And whether you have wealth or not, people like you are here. You're sitting here, you're admiring me for speaking on this topic. So I'd rather have love, and if I have love, I'll certainly have your respect. Thank you. Okay, so the topic is, how will you convince your 6-year-old nephew to stop wasting water? Mahesh, you said something. So I think all nephews are just like Mahavir. Whenever you try to tell them some advice or something, they will usually go against. So I think I would try to tackle this in a way where I would try to go against it. And to help my nephew or niece to stop wasting water, I would actually want to waste a little bit of water in front of them and then see what happens. So certainly this is very anticlimactic to what you want to say, but whenever you try to do something in front of children and try to teach them something, I always find that they always go opposite. So perhaps you waste water and you show them that okay, you're wrong, you shouldn't waste water and I shouldn't be doing this. So maybe they will follow you after that. But I really don't know what I could do other than do this anticlimactic stuff. What would you do? Brian, what would you do?
Reverse psychology.
Reverse psychology. Okay. Dave, what would you do?
If I'm you to speak, not
Maybe I'll ask someone in the audience. Ma'am, what would you do?
As I said, I follow first, then I teach them.
Okay, you'll follow first and then you'll teach them. Okay. I think that's also one way that children always learn by following. So perhaps you can do save water all the time, but not maybe brag about it. So over the years and over a period of time, maybe children will learn to save water. And if they don't learn to save water, perhaps when they learn it at school or when some teachers or somebody tells them, maybe that's one way where they will learn how to save water. And if they really don't, even after so many attempts, there's really nothing you can actually do. People who want to waste will actually waste. Look at Karunakar. So he will always waste water. But I think it's okay because in the end, Karunakar is Karunakar. And no matter how much you try to tell kids not to do things, they will always do it. So, thanks.
I felt it was not like an impromptu speech, it was like a prepared speech. That's the strength of Abhay Kothari. Let us give a big round of applause. So now we are coming to the very interesting and transformation session, which is on the education session on pathways. So let me introduce our speaker. He's one of our past president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, and he also holds a director position in one of the software company called Eapen as a data. He loves data. He knows how to connect the data. He also teaches today how to connect the pathway data between different levels. I would like to welcome Toastmaster Vivek Vijayan to take up the session.
On 20th December, I evaluated a speech, and evaluation, I recommended rather that the person has to repeat the speech because it did not follow the guidelines. Now, at the end of the meeting, I was called aside by Chaitra and Priyanka. They told me, do you want to really continue in this club? This is not the first time that you're doing this, this is the third time that you're doing this. Then, as reasonable people, I gave my explanation and they were fine with that kind of an explanation. But they told me, sins have been committed, now you have to atone for the sins. Now I told them, what can I do about it? What don't you do an education session on why you think the 3 speeches went wrong? So, okay, fine, according to me, I'll do it. So now, friends, I am here today to atone my sins more than anything else. So, getting into serious stuff, I was just kidding. Now, let us take a step back to understand what this happened. So I was thinking, why did I recommend 3 speeches in a matter of like 8 to 12 months that the person should repeat? Looks like it was unprecedented as far as this club is concerned. I was looking at it, and then I found that all 3 were level 2 projects. Just hold on for some time, I'll tell you what level 2 is. Level 2 projects. So I was thinking, what is wrong with level 2 projects? Then I was reflecting upon my own preparation for level 2 projects. I found I took a longest amount of time to go from level 1 to level 3, and passing through this level 2 was difficult for me. Then I realized there was one of my mentees was really good speaker. He struggled in level 2 projects. So I was thinking something is wrong with level 2 projects. So then when I saw that these level 2 projects were very different from the other projects. Level 2 projects were more experiential in nature. So let's take a step back and try to understand the evolution of Toastmasters. So Toastmasters started as a place where you could practice public speaking, and for this we completed 100 years Toastmasters. 90 years of Toastmasters, it was a one-size-fits-all. So there was a syllabus. There used to be 10 projects which you could take one after the other. Everybody takes the same thing. And then you kind of specialize it, but everything was into public speaking. It was not different from public speaking, different forms of public speaking. But if you look at it, after the globalization and things like that, things start changing, right? To adopt the contemporary needs of people. Not everybody is always speaking to a large audience. This might be the largest audience I'm speaking to. Usually it's a much smaller audience. You have different needs, and usually communication goes along with leadership. Leadership need not be titles, somewhere leadership. So that is where around 2017, Toastmasters started rolling out a completely new syllabus, I would say, for you to understand. It's called Pathways. So when you join Toastmasters, you pick what you want to specialize in, what you need. For example, there is some people want to be effective communicators within a small group. Then there is a path to this visionary communication path. Now some people want to be a leader in their own right, a strategic leader. Then you have a path to this dynamic leadership path. So what happens is that you have some goal at the end. It's not like public speaking where you don't do anything at the end. So that's the reason. So we have 6 such. It's called pathways. The whole syllabus is called pathways, and each of it is called a path. Now we have 6. There used to be 11. We have 6, and it started rolling out. Now, like anything in life, right? When there's a change, people resist it. I was a big opponent of pathways, etc. Why do we need this and all those? So, and it's still facing teething troubles. People are still adopting to it. It's not like everybody has adopted to this. But the good thing is, it is moving away from the one-size-fits-all approach, and it's taking a different approach. Now, for the guests, each of this path has 5 levels, and each level is a group of projects. Each level is a group of projects. And let's take the level 1. What kind of pathways? So level 1 is mastering the fundamentals. It's called it's the same for any path that you take. What is the mastering the fundamentals? Mastering the fundamentals is about structuring your speech. How do you write your speech? How do you do the opening, body, conclusion? How do you get to the point, etc. Now that's level 1. Okay, that you have 3 or 4 projects in that, and you learn to evaluate as well. Now then it comes to level 2. Level 2 is learning your style. That's a launch pad to leadership and style. The tectonic shift from level 1 to level 2 is that, and level 2, in level 1 you are on your own. You can speak about anything. You can speak about Archimedes or your mother or whatever that is. It doesn't matter. But level 2 you cannot do that. Level 2 you have to speak, but speech is only 10%. Speech is only 10%. Now you have to really do something, execute a project, observe it, reflect on it, and then come here. So that's 90% of the time that goes in there. I'll get to that. So it's more about, so what really happens is that, you know, this Mysore road, Mysore-Bangalore highway, if you have traveled in that, you come at a high speed, around 80+ kilometers, but by the time you exit, right, you are you still want to drive at the same speed, but the cops will catch you. That is where they stand and catch you because you are at the same speed, whereas you exceed the speed limit at that time. It's the same thing happens here. On level 1, you are. That's the reason why in level 1, very good speeches in level 1 start faltering at level 2. Because what brought you there will not take you to the next point. So level 2 speeches are completely different. We'll take 2 examples and then you will maybe get some idea about what level 2 projects are. So one of the common projects of all the paths is Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. I'll tell you what you shouldn't do. Because what you should do, it doesn't get into our head. What you shouldn't do, and so that you eliminate those, I think you should get it properly. You cannot paraphrase it. Paraphrase means this is a type of mentoring. You know, no? From the very first standard we are used to it. One subject, paraphrase this, give what is Newton's third law. You can't do that. You can't do that. Then you cannot quote a lifelong companion. My husband is my mentor, my wife is my mentor, my mother is my mentor. No. They are much more than that. That's not mentorship. Mentorship is for a brief period of time or a slightly extended period of time, and it cannot have love and affection within that. Then that transforms things. A parent's love and affection is completely different. It transcends all difficulties and things like that. So, is that 8 minutes? Sorry. Now then, lifelong companion relationship cannot. Then you cannot take short stints. You cannot take very short stints of things. For example, if you were to review your speech, 2 speeches of yours with a person, that is not mentorship. That's not mentorship. That's just coaching for that moment. That's not mentorship. So that's much different from what you see. Let's take another project, which is very understanding your communication style. Understanding your communication style. Now you cannot say generic statements like communication style is, oh, this is called direct communication style. This is supportive. No, you can't do that. That's theoretical. You're reproducing the project. You can't do that. All right. Then if you cannot, one thing that I remember is one of the communication project member told, she spoke about Vivekananda's communication style. What do you know about Vivekananda's communication style? You're not talking about public speaking style. You have to have, okay, then you will tell contemporary, I'll choose about Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma, you can do it if you are Ravichandran Ashwin. Then you do it. Otherwise, you do not know his communication style. You have to, even if you do not want to expose yourself about your own communication style, right? You can take the communication style of the person whom you are interacting with. Sometimes you don't want to discuss and open your communication style, but you have to do that, your communication style or somebody else's communication style that you have experience with. You cannot do it completely different. And you cannot mingle the communication style and leadership style. Alright? You cannot mingle that. Although they go hand in hand, you can't do that. Now you get a fair idea where how you should be doing it. That means you have to observe something and then do it. Observe, reflect, and then do it. Now let me come to the point as to why we in the subcontinent find it very difficult. Very difficult. Why experiential projects are very difficult for us. Okay. Now there is a cultural learning bias that we have. We are taught to learn by rote, right? That means mug up and reproduce, mug up and reproduce. There is no reflection. That is the reason why many good students who go from here to reasonably good universities in India or Western universities, they struggle because you can't reproduce. You don't get good grades by reproducing. They get along later, but there is a time that takes you. Then there is a misaligned expectation. The misaligned expectation is that, for example, you think the Toastmasters is for public speaking. Where is all this? Yeah, I have to. The Vice President Education tells me to give a project and I will mug up the whole thing on the previous day and produce. It's not possible. This is not possible. That's another possible because you have not reflected anything at all. That's another thing. Then there is a shift in mindset that you have to have. One is the results first to the we are all in a hurry. One project after the other. We need the certificate. It's not in a growth first. We need to adopt it to a growth first. But that's something which we are used to. we pile up certificates for no reason. Even Toastmaster certificate doesn't mean anything outside Toastmasters, frankly speaking. So that is the reason why we pile up. So these are the problems that we have to understand as to why we don't seem to be doing experiential projects in the right manner. Now you must be wondering, like, how do I really do it? Like, you have told why you can't do, what you should not do, everything was negative. So tell me how you should do it. Let's take a 5-step process. Let's take a 5-step process into how exactly you can do a project. Once you choose a project, say for example a leadership project or a communication project, you will have to interview that person. So for example, let's take a typical example, let's take Akash Arka. He's a student and he has a tech fest at college, and he is a part of a tech fest project, and so he wants to understand the style of the person who was leading it. Now what he has to do is to carefully interview that person. Okay, carefully ask that person as to how was it, how did he do it, or observe that person. Okay, and then after you observe that person, you have to gather anecdotes. You have to gather some anecdotes, how that person handled pressure, or how that person handled conflicts, how he was supportive in the conflicts, etc. That's the second step. After you do that second step, then you have to extract adjectives as to what has happened. So when you ask people, they'll say, oh, that was a tough time, man. Tough. You'll have to take that tough and make it into, hey, how do you handle pressure? Okay? All those kind of adjectives. Then after that, you highlight the key traits that you get out of it, and then you create a narrative speech which has anecdotes and these qualities of that particular project. So it's all about, again to repeat, you will have to interview or observe yourself or get the right persons, and then you will have to take some anecdotes, observe, get the anecdotes, get our adjective. This is difficult. This is very difficult. That is the reason why it's time consuming and difficult. But you will have to do that. At the end of it, when you repeat this twice or thrice this cycle, it really gives you good results. Alright? So that's the steps of getting into experiential projects. Experiential projects, although I am telling excessively about level 2, there are experiential projects in level 3 and level 4 as well. Alright? So, and what is the advantage? Why should I do this experiential projects? That's another one. Why should I be doing experiential projects? I'm going about time, but I'll just complete. It improves your abstract thinking. What do you mean by abstract thinking? Okay, I have one example which I want to tell is abstract thinking. Many people are good at table topics. Okay, very few people are good at table topics. But if you ask them how they talk well in table topics, they will not be. They tell you, hey, I have stories, I come and tell. No man, confidently. I am always confident. Some you just rattle off, man. You close your eyes and tell. Think nobody is there. All these people, they themselves do not know why they are speaking well. If you look at Rajdeep Manwani, he gave an education session on how to speak well in table topics. In table topics, he mentioned 3 things. You have to meditate, you have to journal, you have to read well. These have nothing to do with on this stage. That's a brilliant way of abstracting it's an abstract thinking of what achieves on the stage or what you do off the stage. Where is it useful? Let's take an example of, again, somebody like Akash or somebody very young. Okay? Somebody like Vishal. So when you are asked to solve a problem and you are to identify a problem, right? Why is your team's productivity less? And most of that is like you are not working 90 hours. All these are not what you have to tell, right? You have to identify a pattern. Okay, so there is a lack of training, this is what it is, so only then you will be able to do that. Okay, so that is the reason why this abstract thinking is necessary for anybody. Then it promotes a journey, it's a journey of self-discovery. Why it promotes a journey of self-discovery is that, so you go to really good leadership lessons, they do it in a resort, 2 days, etc. You come up say, oh wow, that was really self-discovery, because you would have paid some 25,000. But at the same time, this is offered in Toastmasters. This is like almost, it comes at real world challenges. Real world challenges are does not come in large audience speaking. Very few people have that opportunity. Rest of us are speaking in small gatherings, leading small things, solving conflicts and things like that. So it makes you well rounded. Alright. So ultimately, it's that's what I put it out as: you reflect, you rethink, and repeat, and you get the experiential projects. Experiential projects, again, let me be very clear, it's difficult, and if you have a doubt that if I do this project I may not get the best speaker award, you may not, that's okay. That is okay, because to make humor out of it, etc. is difficult. You're passing through the difficult phase. You do 3 projects in level 2, I think you will be a different person. At the end, I have to have this quote from one of the very good Toastmasters internationally, Toastmaster Aditya Maheshwaran. He says, "You are in Toastmaster not to be a better Toastmaster. You are in Toastmasters to be a better person outside Toastmasters." That means you're a better person, you do better. It's not to get this certificate or this, whatever that is, that's immaterial. The whole idea is this is a laboratory for you to experiment. And if you do well in this laboratory, you should do well outside. So that's, so I think with this, I think you should be able to do experiential projects slightly better than what you understood or what you were doing. With this, I can take 2 questions. As I am over time, I am so sorry about that. Any questions? Yeah.
You mentioned that in level 2 we have something introduction to Toastmasters mentoring, and you also said that the brief you cannot have a brief interaction, but when someone comes into Toastmasters and is going from level 1 to level 2, the interaction that they would have had with their mentor is actually extremely brief.
True. So that is why Toastmasters gives you a leeway that you can reflect on any other mentoring experience that you have had.
Right.
For example, Chaitra had this, she was running a startup and she had a mentoring session, distance mentoring session for I think almost 12 months with somebody in the US, and she explained that. Sometimes, yeah, you are right. Even if you are spending 1 year in Toastmasters, you may not be able to really put those in words. So then it becomes a problem. Yeah, that is there. So you have a leeway to take communication, etc. It need not be within Toastmasters. It can be outside Toastmasters. Yeah, question. Very nice.
Very thoughtfully mentioned about table topics, right? What you do off the stage, you do some meditation, journaling, and stuff like that. Brilliant. Again, to re-quote Dr. Arti. The only question I'm wondering is, what do you do off the stage, backstage? How do you actually convert that on the stage?
It comes onto the stage. That's what I've understood. Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
But what you practice, right? I mean, I think we all falter, we all fumble.
Yeah.
It's okay to do that. I mean, most of us think we make a fool of ourselves there. I think it's perfect.
Only in a laboratory you can break your apparatus and do kind of things. There is no penalty here. There is 0 penalty for anything. Otherwise, it's fine. Thank you so much. So thanks Chaitra for organizing this thing.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Vivek. As I mentioned, it was truly transformative session for us, connecting the dots between the 2 sessions and also giving the word reflect, think, and repeat RRR. And we know the director of RRR, not Rangoli, is Vivek. Yeah. So let us give another big round of applause. So we'll take a quick network break for 5 minutes. 3 minutes. Yeah, and we'll back to our third very interesting session. Just want to reduce the secretary to the and I come to the stage. Okay, so let us go to the third part of the session, which is impromptu table topic session. For this, we have a table topic master. She is first year BBA. She's studying first year BBA, and she's an interest to improve public speaking. That's what she is there, and we are also here as a part of the community. I would like to welcome Palak, Mehta on stage to carry this.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Good evening. So, we have reached the most exciting session of our meeting, that is the table topic session. Now, this session trains you to answer those awkward questions in your next family gathering. So, table topic session is a session where you get a chance to think on your feet and have some fun. So, without any further ado, let's start our first session. The first topic is, what does harvesting a greener tomorrow mean to you personally? What does harvesting a greener tomorrow means to you personally? Toastmaster Srinivas
Harvesting a greener tomorrow. For a Bangalorean, considering it's a garden city, imagine those days, olden days, where we were able to see those flowers everywhere. But now, only Pushpa-like people are there. Right? That's the change of IT revolution. Lot of Pushpas have come to Bangalore, the flower has gone. Right? So now, what I would say a greener tomorrow. See, ultimately what has happened to this climate, you would all see in California, just and just, right? It was very sad to see so many people of losing their built-up homes, which they have saved for so many now. Only way we can change this world, a better place, is to go green and change the world. And I think the change has to begin very small, and you all are part of that change. With this, I would like to
Thank you, sir, for that Pushpa. So the next topic is, what is the one thing in nature that always amazes you? What is the one thing in nature that always amazes you? Toastmaster Srishakthi.
I think the nature itself is amazing. Right? So I always think of this, right? At any point in time, if you look at it, the wind doesn't stop. If you go to a beach, you can always see the waves never stop. Right? So the nature, I always believe that nature itself has certain construct, or maybe that's what we call it as a law, but it operates whether you are there or not, right? Most of the time we feel, we are the one who are driving a lot of things, but even any natural disasters always teach us that nature is beyond us. So which means nature itself is amazing, and it doesn't have any specific. You cannot control. You cannot have any control over it.
The next topic is, what is your favorite way to connect with nature? What is your favorite way to connect with nature? Toastmaster Akash.
Favorite way to connect with nature, maybe go for an early morning jog or something. It's not something that I'm particularly keen on because I'm a very late riser. So I wake up at 10 o'clock, 10:30. When we do try it, it's actually a lot of fun because Bangalore is very chaotic every single time. The other day, my mother asked me to go to the
nearby supermarket to get a, I think it was curds or something like that. Curds. It took me 45 minutes to reach the supermarket. It's just 1 kilometer away because the amount of traffic that was there, and it was so chaotic. So when you go for an early morning walk, it's actually a lot of fun because it's so peaceful. Like Srinivas mentioned, Bangalore is not a garden city anymore, right? It's very, very chaotic and it's polluted and all those things. So early morning walk is where I like to enjoy myself and connect to nature. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akash. I guess all of us want to take our early morning walk. So the next topic is, if you had a superpower to help the planet, what would it be? If you had the superpower to help the planet, what would it be? Toastmaster Shreyas.
Good evening, my dear Toastmasters and guests. The superpower which I would rather have is to remove the anger in people. If the anger in people is removed, I think most of us will have a good bonded nature wherever we go, because the competitive world in which we are brings a lot of anger within us, which helps us not control our emotions, and we take some wrong decisions because of it. So if I have a superpower which helps me to remove the anger in people, which helps them progress in their life and have a good control of their emotions. Thank you.
The next topic is, if you could give a gift to nature, what would it be? If you could give a gift to nature, what would it be? Toastmaster Rashi.
If I could give a gift to nature, maybe it would be giving people. Okay, sorry. Giving people mindful minds. I don't know if that makes sense, but what I mean to say is that if people are mindful, then they will be participative. They will help the nature indirectly or directly. So if they live mindfully, if they think mindfully, then might as well not destroy the resources that exist within nature or the things that are being given to us by nature without demanding anything from us. So yes, nature is all about giving and we are all about taking. So if we think of being mindful, then we might also be giving to nature.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashi, for throwing the light on the give and take relationship of us with nature. The next topic is, how can the traditions of Shankrathi promote sustainability? How can the traditions of Shankrathi promote sustainability? Toastmaster Richard.
Toastmaster and distinguished guest. Sankranti is a festival of fulfillment, and it's of new beginnings. And all of us know during Sankranti there will be a spell of rain. 2 days rain was predicted to Bangalore, but it didn't happen. Sankranti is very much important to lead a life. Bevu and Bella, what is very much that's bitterness as well as sweet. Our life is given by God, but it will have bountifulness and also the scarcity. There will be different seasons and more than anything else, there will be a lot of experiences which may be pleasant or not. We learn in Sankranti to take life by our stride, and nature also favors this because it gives that everything is given, it comes, and it is your duty to take it as it comes. You should move with the flow, and you should never endeavor to move against the flow. Over to Madam Tabletop.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jacob, for that inspiring lecture on Shreyas. What is the one thing that people take for granted about nature? What is the one thing people take for granted about nature? Toastmaster Pradeep.
Well, thanks for the brilliant topic, Master. Dear guests and my dear fellow Toastmasters and distinguished Toastmasters, what is the one thing that people take for granted in nature? We take nature itself for granted. Now, I'm a trekker, a mountaineer, a budding mountaineer, a very passionate trekker. So we go to great lengths to reach to the extremely unreachable places of Himalayas or anywhere around the world, only to find that a lace packet has already reached us. There are so many beautiful vantage views that we get, and then we go over the edge, there'll be the garbage dump. That's what we're doing. We're taking nature for granted. We're thinking that it's so resilient that we'll suck in all the plastic and the fruity package and the lays, and I really want to go back and tell PepsiCo, please stop producing plastic lace packets. Try paper maybe. But in other words, if we stop taking nature for granted and blend with nature, like somebody here mentioned about the resilience of nature, right? It is resilient, but we have to sustain it. It is bountiful, but we have to work with it. So with that, I give it back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pradeep. The next topic is, what is the one thing about nature that fills you with gratitude? What is the one thing about nature that fills you with gratitude? Toastmaster Anirudh.
Music. Unfortunately, I can't sing a song. But today, I'm going to tell you an incredible story and some mind-bending facts about nature. You know, exactly 1.5 years ago, my wife and I went to the Nordic country of Finland. We went there because of just one singular reason. We never actually seen a place that was -5 degrees, a place that we could live at -5. And we always dreamt about seeing the Northern Lights. So a couple of years ago, exactly 1 year ago, my wife and I trekked off to Finland, wore extremely thick jackets to shield ourselves from the cold. And then we went on this unlimited Northern Lights tour, which means the car will go till it finds the Northern Lights, or you get 50% of your money back, provided that the sky is clear and the conditions for the Northern Lights have been met, solar activity is happening. There are a bunch of conditions only satisfying which the tour happens, and then it's an unlimited tour. So you start at 7 in the night and you go on till 5 in the morning, and you just keep driving until you find the lights. Thankfully, first stop we went to, didn't see anything. Second stop we went to, didn't see anything. But there are a bunch of different tour operators, and when all of them speak to each other, whenever they see a light, then they quickly have a WhatsApp group and everyone rushes to that spot. And we were lucky enough to actually see a level 5 Northern Light sighting, which means you see all of the towers, you see all of the colors, and you see it one staggered above the other. This is what I'm most grateful for nature for. Because even without you asking, it is so magnificently beautiful
that you only get to look and appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anirudh. The next topic is share a childhood memory of Shankanti. Share a childhood memory of Shankanti, Toastmaster Chaitra.
Thank you for the wonderful table topic master. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. The wonderful memory which I have of my childhood, Sankranti, what we called Harvest Festival. I believe it's also called Onam in Kerala, is that the farmers reap what they sow. I believe that in everybody's life there are these small seeds which are planted literally either in your mind or in the field, and finally it comes into bloom by giving you an opportunity, or giving the person who plants the seed an opportunity to reap the seeds or the harvest which comes from those seeds which were planted. There may be some seeds which fall on barren ground where there is no yield, but all in all, if a seed is nurtured either in your mind or in the fields that you plant these seeds in, it does wonderfully well and you will eventually reap what you sow. So this is the lesson which I learned about Sankranti, Onam, Pongal in various parts of India. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chaitra. The next topic is, if you could choose one environmental issue to solve immediately, what would it be and why? If you could choose one environmental issue to solve immediately, what would it be and why? Toastmaster Shashank.
One environmental issue I would like to solve is actually people spoiling the nature. I'll share a funny story which happened with me maybe a few years ago. We went on a trek. It was a nice plan. We had to go to a hilltop, set up a tent, have a campfire, and sleep peacefully at night. What could go wrong? Spoiler, everything. The tent which said easy setup looked like maybe an inverted taco. It was not at all easy to set up. Then we went out for a campfire. No matter where I sat, the smoke directly hit my face. It was one of the worst experiences sitting in front of a campfire. Then when we thought it's time for dinner, it started pouring heavily. We went inside our tent, it started leaking as well. What did we do eventually? We abandoned the plan, we went to our car, slept inside the car. Then I realized one thing. Nature is actually best left enjoyed by just looking or not by spoiling it. Because most of the time when we come across a new place to visit, we first go there and, like how my friend also mentioned here, we spoil it first. It becomes a garbage pit. So next time when you think of a plan, either ignore all the plastics or wastes, or just sit back and enjoy the Mother Earth, or just appreciate the fact that it's out there and it's nice and we're getting nice, at least greenery, but avoid spoiling it, avoid taking things, avoid plastic, avoid spoiling it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shashank. The next topic is, imagine there is a garden that represents your life. What would it look like? Imagine a garden that represents your life, and what would it look like? Toastmaster Shreyas.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters.
So, if
garden which represented my life, there would not be one color. There would be like several other colors. Like for example, if you think I'm all sweet and nice and small, that is exactly not at all how I am. There will definitely be a bed of roses with thorns, which I know I can do sometimes. Like I can be mean in a funny way, but if I tell a mean thing to you and I tell I'm just joking, I am not. But sometimes I might be, so that's for you to figure out. And there definitely a lot of compassion for all my friends and family members, and a lot of responsibilities for some flowers representing responsibilities and other stuff, and mostly like fun, not like small kiddie things, but actual fun like bonding with everyone. Yeah, that would be my life. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya. The next topic is share a moment where you felt most connected with nature. Share a moment where you felt most connected with nature. Toastmaster Shreya.
So I was born and grew up in a place which falls in the Western Ghats side. Okay, as I grew up, I didn't understood I was always filled with the lush greenery and all those stuff. I didn't miss anything, even the birds chirping sound or anything, rolling waterfall, this kind of things. To the fact that my home is near to Joke Falls, so even I saw this roaring waterfalls and all those things. But the moment I came to Bangalore, here also I didn't miss anything, because Bangalore is something that I aspired to come here because of the busy life and all those things. The buzzing life, not the busy life. Okay. But the moment I went back to my hometown for the first time, my home was around approximately 10 kilometers away, and it was a rain day yesterday. So when I went there, I smelled the freshness of this mud that came out. That was when I thought what I missed. And the more I started going to my hometown. I think right now, if you say every month I would travel back to my hometown whenever I get the opportunity. So that is where I feel like I'm most connected towards the nature. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shreya. Now, that concludes my session. Thank you so much to everyone. It was amazing to learn about your perspective on nature, and back to the team.
So, thank you, Toastmaster Palak. I could see the topics were very interesting, and also all the table topic people who have come here has efficiently utilized the time and kept our timer very busy to raise for every team members. Again, kudos to you. Let us give another big round of applause to you. So finally, we are at the fourth step, final harvesting. So this is very critical because we can't improve without taking the feedback. Yeah, and for that we have a right critical G, who is the captain for this team. And just intro about him, he is already near to decade in this Toastmaster fraternity, and he has taken in his capacity various roles. Yeah, and we are being fortunate to have him in today's meeting. And he's also on the professional side. He's working in Avalara. It's a tax computing into the enterprise marketing leader. So without further ado, I welcome Karnataka. Oh.
Thank you, George, for the beautiful introduction. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We all become selective listener or viewer, whenever we want to purchase something or whenever something pops in our mind, right? So when I heard this theme, harvesting a greener tomorrow, obviously, normally if I am contemplating in buying a car, the most posters or articles or ads that I normally observe are of cars. The same way when I saw this theme, and I have a habit of scrolling through my Twitter feed a lot. And by doing so, I even learned a new Gen Z term, and I tell you how it happened. While going through the entire feed, Pongal time, Srishakthi, we read greater amount of articles or posts about harvesting season, right? But what caught my attention is something around a word called green. And the green word is also being excessively used on Twitter feed. But it came with a suffix called flag, right? A lot of times people say, oh my god, it's such a green flag, such a red flag of green. And that actually made me go through and understand what exactly it means. Then I got to know about the Gen Z term that says, hey, green flag is a great guy. And if somebody has to pay somebody, you know, she's a green ocean. that is a quite interesting view of how a certain words, a certain sentence are being used right now. Okay, coming to the meeting, we had a great start to the meeting. Amrit, Kaur, great day, Amrit. It is the first time I'm hearing you speak at the Saturday Dance. You had a great story on shades of green, how you laid out rules, things about avoiding the sentiments, or rather avoid using sentiment which can actually hurt people, was something that I find really great usage of word. And then you were loud, you were clear, you had a great stage movement, and amazing introduction of Sheeb. The only area that I can feel can be an area of improvement, a slight improvement, is something more of an introduction about Sheeb. Right? It was only circling around the name of Sheeb, not about the credibility of him as a Toastmaster or his profession or anything around it. Right? So a bit more to show, hey, we have a president, a thoroughly deserving president, is something could have added much fun to the introduction. But otherwise, a fantastic job. Please give a big round of applause to him. Then we had the president, Sheeb, and we had Secretary Mahesh, Lokesh as well. Very well done, Mahesh. You were able to present really well. But again, a couple of ifs and buts, a couple of stutter or stammer can happen when you have to memorize so many names. Right? So it's always good. It's a good practice to actually have a placard or a note if you are not too confident about certain things. But otherwise, you'll be doing really well. It's just a third or fourth week of you in the role. So amazing job. Put your hands up for him. And then we had the president, Sheeb. Sheeb, you get into the role or the character so well, it feels like I'm watching a theatre play, right? So probably we should actually charge people watching you play the role of Australia. I like the whole story that you had, linking up much around the greenery, living in village, paddy field, butterfly. It all added colorful pictures in our minds, right? The presentation has definitely been better. We have seen you grow leaps and bounds from the time that you actually started speaking in our club and winning an award for your presentation. So amazing, amazing presentation all around. Just a couple of suggestions that I want to give you is some of your sentences are a bit longer. And movement has to be with a purpose, right? So greater speakers or even a speech company would also advise people to move with a purpose. Finish a sentence or finish a certain juncture of your paragraph or whatever and then move, right? So that part has to be improved by a bit. And also as a president, I know it is important that you speak on the theme, but everybody speaks on the theme. The essay will also have a pinch of a theme as well. The TOD will also speak on the theme. But your presentation should also capture the central idea of the meeting. A bit more advanced level in terms of what you are going to convey today in your presidential address. So that part should also be weighed a bit more, and I'm sure you'll do a fantastic job as you proceed. But otherwise, a great presentation. You are holding your tongue really well, a great start. I love the camaraderie that you have in your team. So put your hands up for Sheeb. And then moving on to George, the master of ceremony, the Toastmaster of the day today. George, beautiful story on action and sustainability. And I loved how you defined how a patch of land in Assam has been turned into a beautiful forest, right? And you emphasized on plantation, how one has to plant one more seed going forward. The best thing about the presentation, George, and I feel it's an important tool for any speaker, is your very calm demeanor, right? You felt very welcoming, you had a pleasant smile throughout your presentation, and I can feel a sense of satisfaction and happiness when you are presenting. That shows that you are excited, that shows that you are involved into your role very deeply. What can be done better is around the introduction part. The introduction of every role taker or every speaker could have been a bit more prolongated. I felt it was a bit too short, and then it had a very repetitive line, say, none other than the first speaker that we have, the second speaker that we have, and things, right? So, more emphasis on introduction of speakers is something that you need to work upon, possibly. But otherwise, you had all elements. You know, you were confident, you were engaging, you had a great stage movement as well. So all these come out really well. So please put a big round of applause for George. Moving on to evaluation, the first speaker that we have is Chaitra, and to evaluate her speech, I request Toastmaster Vishal to come up and evaluate. Put your hands up for the evaluation.
Good evening again, Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
Let me start off the evaluation by saying that has the speaker achieved the purpose of this project? Yes. Yes, she has. Let me start off now with what I loved about your speech, Toastmaster Chaitra. First is you had excellent structure. You started off the story and nowhere in between did I feel that I was lost. Everything was clear, laid out for us. Second is your body language. Your body language didn't feel overused. Many times we fall into the trap of making a speech into a musical, but that did not happen here. Yet you use body language when you were saying fishing and pretended to be using a fishing rod, or when you were going underwater and started dipping. The thing that I loved the most about your speech was your comedic timing. I don't think there was any point where you wanted the audience to laugh and they didn't. Every single joke of yours hit home. Now coming to the recommendations, and here I am really just nitpicking because it was a difficult job for me to find anything to suggest. But since it is my vocation today to give you some suggestions, things that you can work on, in my opinion, would be pauses. Although you had excellent pauses throughout your speech, sometimes when you transition from one part of the speech to another, I felt the pauses were a little too long. Since you have a moderate pace and a pace that can be kept up by the audience, when you give a pause for even just 5 to 10 seconds, it seems much longer. Now, the second suggestion that I have is when I was saying words like just do it, I would recommend put more gusto behind it so that the audience just jolts awake. Because such sentences do carry weight. You did do it in the end where you said bring it on like a Viking. So please implement that as well in other places, like using quotes like just do it and so on and so forth. Finally, the last suggestion that I have is you had excellent language and you painted an amazing picture, and your body language also worked with it. For example, when you went under the water, you could have used your voice such as muffling it by saying, again I'm paraphrasing here, like my coach said, go under the water and just say 1, 2, 3 because you are under the water. You know, just to make the experience a little more immersive. Apart from that, you did an excellent job, Chaitra. Let me end by saying, in your speech, bountiful were the commendations, sparse were the reason for recommendations. Do not fret, I had to nitpick because that is my vocation. Over to you, gender evaluator.
Great speech, Chaitra. I think you were filling in for Shivangi, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, so to be preparing in such short duration of time and to be giving a fantastic presentation, you deserve a massive round of applause. Put your hands up. The second speaker was Abhay Kothari. I request Chief Evaluator, DPM Toastmaster, Vijay Anirudh. Put your hands up for everyone.
Speaking impromptu is a difficult task. Speaking impromptu in a humorous manner is the most demanding thing a person would do on stage. Mr. G, fellow Toastmasters, and Abhay have to leave the meeting. So in absentia, let's give him some feedback. 4 objectives. First, members' poise. That means how graceful, elegant on stage while giving an impromptu speech. I think that box will stay. Second, members' presentation skills. For an impromptu speech, it was good. Third one, humor of the story. And fourth, how well the story is connected to the topic. The third and fourth objective, I felt perhaps Abhay could have raised the bar. Now the story is the first one, Tenali used a lot. I think it's beating the horse dead. We can think of other stories. Just samples, the first topic. We'd rather be loved, respected or loved. If I were in Abhay's place, my favorite topic. Ready? Just samples. Now, the newly married man takes his wife to Thailand for a holiday. And the girl, young, early 20s, she wears very skimpy clothes, right? Less is more, they believe. They enjoy and then come back to India. And the girl on Instagram posts this with the skimpy clothes, and immediately the husband instantly loses kilograms of respect. So, wife is loving it, husband's, boy's parents, respect is lost. Another thing, on the work front. It's a Saturday. Abhay's colleague calls and says, hey, project police, let's review some important documents, I need your time. And Abhay's wife is standing and overhearing the conversation. Now, wife this side, colleague on the phone. What will Abhay do? He tells the colleague some stupid reason, hey, some family function. Wife is loving it. Monday morning blues, he goes to the office, Abhay loses respect. So what I'm saying, a story brings in some humor. The second topic, how would you convince your 6-year young nephew to stop wasting water? You could use the technique of the 4 W's, 4 wives and the 1 husband. Say the 4 W's. What could Abhay do? Now, 6-year young kids love cartoons, right? So what Abhay will do? He's wasting water, and then his cartoon time comes. Abhay, the tall man, just take the remote, place it on the furthest point. The kid can't access the remote, no cartoon. When you try to teach kids stop wasting water, the kid is extremely thirsty. Pradeep, you can give them Lays, you can give them paper boat, plastic boat, whatever, but nothing can match the like water. Extremely thirsty, take a good drinking water. And whom should involve to teach the kids to stop wasting water? The small kid, right, 1 or 2 years without chutney, photo all of us have, threatening to show it to friends and neighbors. They stop. And why this technique? Because no children, right? Children don't like yarn. If you give them lecture, instead of wasting 1 bucket, they'll waste 2 buckets of water. So this technique works. So to cut long story short, stories must connect to the topic and you must have humor. But great job there, Abhay, because he's attempting second time and 12 topics given by Toastmasters National. He didn't take those topics, he took topics chosen by our VP Education, Chaitra. Hats off to Abhay, that's the G.
Abhay's approach to the first topic between love and respect reminded me of the very first lesson I got in my speech craft years ago. So when we wanted to crack table topics, I remember we were advised. So if you get a topic to talk about cow, how would you talk? If you do not know anything, talk about cow, tie that cow to a pole and talk about the pole. Right? The same way Abhay finds some way to link any story to Tenali Ram. And he what goddess Kali, Tenali Ram in love, or respect. Right? That's a great scale and it actually falls so amazingly. So big round of applause for Toastmaster Vijayanand and for Abhay Kothari, everybody. Okay, and moving on, we had a presentation by Vivek Vijayan. Our club should forever be indebted to him because whenever we are in a problem, whenever we feel that, hey, a lot of members need some kind of guidance, you can be that shining light, so we always reach out to him. And he prepares so efficiently in every meeting. He has a placard, he doesn't miss out on any key information. That goes on to show that he's actually a pathfinder for pathways. So put your hands up for him. And then we had table topics. Great topics, Palak. You're busy on the phone, but amazingly prepared. But the kind of topics that you had, the ease of understanding for all the members, I think only one or two people asked you to repeat the topic. That shows the amount of clarity you had on your topics and how people were able to decipher your topic really well. And people spoke really well as well. So big round of applause for Palak and all. And now we move to the reports. Can I have Toastmaster Bhavana to read out the time and reports here? Put your hands up for Bhavana, please.
Speaker 1, that was Toastmaster Chaitra, spoke for 6 minutes 12 seconds, and Speaker 2 spoke for 4 minutes total, and all table topic speakers spoke within time. Thank you.
Can we have Toastmaster Brian present now on the report?
Good evening, Toastmasters. Good evening. As you're presenting your Arka on the report, it was a really hard job. I have a whole sheet of record. But to summarize, we have Toastmasters Sheeb, Chaitra, Shreyas, Pradeep, Jacob, Shashank and Vishal with 0 clutch words. Less than 5 clutch words are Toastmasters Amrit, Mahesh, Viresh, Srinivas, Vungarala, Akash, Rashi and distinguished Toastmaster Vijayanand. More than 5 clutch words are Toastmasters Palak, Srishakthi, Richard, Anirudh, Shreya, George, Abhay, Vivek and Chiran. They can perhaps come on stage a bit more often. And in my opinion, do not book me anywhere. I found these 3 people take advantage of pauses. These are Toastmasters Sheeb, Chaitra and Shreyas. Kudos. And just a small statistic I would say. I was just googling what the average use of crutch word in India is. Apparently, there's not been official research on it. But I was more curious, I went on to AI and just put it out there. The average came in a speech was from 4 to 6 words. I think BTMC did a relatively good job with 83 uses of crutch words with 24 speakers, an average of 3.4583. Let's run it out to 3.5. And we can reach 0 crutch words by coming on stage more often.
Well done, Brian. This is how exactly exactly how my social science teacher used to read annual reports. Well done. Moving on, can we have the report by Dinesh? The Maryland report. Could you have
I'm happy as a grammarian to see some of the speakers picking up the word of the day and using it so creatively in their speeches. Some of the good usages of the phrases were: against your will or wish, riding a roller coaster, Herculean task, so tenaciously, appreciating is contagious. He has a strong vibe, harmony between humanity and nature, filled with apprehension. I learned to smile in the face of the wind. Small steps can have an outsized impact, tectonic shift, reflect, rethink, repeat, resilient nature, green ocean, calm demeanor. Some of the not so good usages of the language were: who was very good in, could have been who was very good at, that has deeply moved, that deeply moved, can change a monumental change, could have been can bring a monumental change, starts faltering, the change has to begin very small, the change has to begin with small steps. We take some wrong decisions, we make some wrong decisions. The moment when I went back to home, I'll be submitting my report to the committee. Over to you, Chandra.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. Now, just one generic observation that we have is that the collar mic that we actually use doesn't sound the way it should. It has a metallic feel, it has this muffled voice as well. So that can actually impact in a big way, so it is important that SA and the committee fixes it. Or it's a very small gathering, we can actually use, we can avoid using mic as well if it is not working properly. Otherwise, a fantastic meeting. Thank you so much for being a great audience. Over to George, the Toastmaster. Could you hand it over?
So what a great feedback, and we were enriched with the feedback to work towards that and to take our speech to the next level. So let us give another big round of applause to all the judges that are here. Okay, I think the voting link has been shared in the WhatsApp group. So, and the passcode is 1725. Please take a minute to vote it. Can I repeat? The voting link is 1725. So before I finish, just want to give this word that's what, that the earth is what all we have in common. Let us work towards the green and world. With this, I'll hand over back to Toastmaster President.
George Dsa. We just wanted to give away 2 trophies. I think these are the trophies for the best evaluator of the term and the Toastmaster of the term. Both won by Distinguished Toastmaster DTM Vijayanand.
Just thank the club, love the club, everyone, members and all the guests. Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Now, I request our Vice President of Education, Chaitra, to hand over a small token of appreciation for our educational speaker, Toastmaster Vijay. In our Gen Z term, I think, hope we had a greener meeting. Okay? And I want to give an appreciation for our Vice President Education, Chaitra, because we had 2 speakers slotted, and last night we had information that the speaker was not ready, not well to present the speech. So, like her speech, she brought it on the stage, and for walking the talk, give a round of applause for. Now, the best auxiliary role taker award goes to the person who actually enlightened us with his knowledge, Toastmaster Brand Medusa. Best table topic speaker award goes to the budding trekker, Toastmaster Pradeep Padmanabhan. Trekking really pays. And the best role taker award goes to the bro of the club, KD Bro Toastmaster Karnataka. And the best evaluate award goes to Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Vijay Anand. The best speaker award goes to someone who brought everything on stage today. 1, 2, 3, breathe. Toastmaster Chaitra Chandapillai. I request all the winners to please come back to the stage. Thank you so much. For the benefit of guests, our membership committee will give you more information about Toastmasters just outside the hall. So we have some snacks here. Pick your snacks and be ready for the session. And for the members, we have hot snacks. And with that, I'm closing for meeting number 1462.